We're going live. Here we go, people. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. Decided to go live this morning. It's been a good start, I think. It's a gloomy day in Los Angeles. And I woke up and I went hiking and came back and fell asleep. And I was like, this is the best, perfect time to go live because Fridays is when the magic happens. Fridays is when the weekend comes, the anxiety starts to go away, and you're just like, all right, now I can just kind of, every day is the same pretty much for me. But I was like, well, let me just relax for a minute and take it easy and drink my coffee. But here's something. So yesterday, this town is so tough. I gotta stop saying that. This town is amazing, but I was asked to do this Zoom writers group thing. Not writers group, but it was like a read through of a table read. I'm not gonna say his name because he's probably on this somewhere, but he's done like a bunch of network pilots, and he was like, "Hey man, can you narrate the script?" I was like, yeah, totally, dude. I'd definitely do it for you. And I jump on there, and there are all these actors who are like amazing actors, like they've all done stuff, and I'm just like the narrator, and I'm just like narrating, and I'm listening to them, and like they're all like older than me. And I'm like, all these guys are incredible. Like they're all incredible actors, and I was like, I suck. Like I should not be in this business. I was listening to them, and not saying that you have to be on a, super famous to make it, but I was just like on that read through, and I was like, dude, you really got to find what you're good at and double down on that to stand out because there's so much competition in Los Angeles. That's why, like, when I talk to people and they're like, hey, I'm in my, small town in the middle of nowhere, like in New Hampshire, or I shouldn't say New Hampshire, I'm from New Hampshire, like Ohio or whatever. I'm like, you have to move to LA because this is like where the big fish are, and you got to like compete with them. Or you start like your own stuff going, get your own fan base and kind of bend the rules in your favor. It's another way to go about it. But I did this Zoom thing yesterday, and I wanted to quit. I was like, I should not be in this business. Like I've wasted 20 years of my life. I went to the dermatologist. I'm already regretting doing this. I went to the dermatologist yesterday, guys. And I think, man, sometimes I get jealous of my friends who are doctors and stuff because I'm like, oh, they just have like I know like life sucks in general for everybody. Everybody has got their own personal Vietnam, but man, I went to my dermatologist. I've got like this. My arm was turning black. I don't care. I'll just show it to you. My arm was like turning black, and I was like, "What's going on with my arm?" And I knew it was like eczema or something, like a skin thing, because I had it on my neck once. And I walk in there, and I'm like, "Is this?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's that." And I walk out, they're like $80, and I was like, "That's it, $80? Here you go, money out the door." I was like, "I am in the wrong profession." I used to do this joke when I was on the road, when I was performing as myself. And I used to say, man, everybody hates their lives and everybody hates their jobs. I said something like that. It was like a premise. It wasn't even like a joke. It was just like a premise into something else. Whenever I would do that, whenever I would say that line, especially on the road, people would start applauding because I realized everybody's so miserable with their lives, like in America. Sometimes you go to these small towns and people are stuck in their jobs. And I was doing this jiu-jitsu stuff like a while ago, and a couple of guys in my class. It's like it's a bro thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's like a bro thing. A couple of guys in my class were like really into like Joe Rogan and like that whole crew, and Bert Kreischer and whoever. But it was almost like this messianic worship, right, towards these people, and that's why they're so popular. And I really thought about it, like, to analyze comedy, and I was like, you know what it is? I think people see anybody who speaks the truth as like an escape almost, like you need like a voice, especially now, like in these political times. It's just too much where you don't know. You just want someone who connects with you. I still don't know who my voice is. I mean, this is my voice, the voice in my head. So I've only been on Facebook for like a month. I got kicked off Facebook for a year and a half, and I'm kind of regretting it. Like, every time I go on Facebook, it's all political stuff. I'm like, what happened here? Like, I remember Facebook used to be like fun and like, hey, I'm connecting with my old high school friends, and how are you now? Every time I go on it, it's just like it's Trump shit or Biden stuff. I'm like, this is not fun to be on at all. I'm like, do not go on Facebook. It's just like a death trap. So I've been trying to keep off that. Been trying not to take these happy pills that I have on my counter that I got from my surgery months ago, but I keep them anyways. Should probably not be sharing that information, but whatever. Whatever. Hey, good news though. Good news. I've been writing this book for the past 2 years. It's like a real book, so I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm almost done. Almost done. So I feel like whatever happens, I really encourage people, like, if you ever like want to write anything or make something, like, it's those little drops. Like, those little drops make all the difference in the world. Especially like writing or like filmmaking, because that novella I wrote like 3 years ago, like I started writing that 10 years ago, but like I didn't have the confidence to finish it. And then after a girl dumped me, I just was like, hey, let me just write this every single day, and then I finished it. So then it was almost like a snowball started to move. And I feel like that's with anything with life, right? You got to get that snowball moving, and then all of a sudden you're hiking Runyon Canyon, doing copies on Facebook Live. I mean, life is miraculous in that way. No, but it's good. I'm really excited for the weekend. I'm really excited for these next couple of months. I'm not gonna make this political, but I want to go back to Florida. It's where my parents are right now. I don't live in New Hampshire. My parents moved to Florida. So I've been trying to wrestle with that. Like, is it safe to fly? Because I see like a lot of comedians flying around, doing their shows, and I'm like, well, maybe I can just fly to Florida, like, and just wear a mask and a hazmat suit, and I'll be safe. I've said no to every comedy show offered to me, so I'm probably can't do stand up anymore. I don't know how to do it. My buddy called me up and he's like, hey, do you want to tour Mexico with me next month? And I was like, tour Mexico? He's like, yeah, we'll bounce around Mexico and do show, because he's kind of bigger. It's a bigger name, obviously. And he's like, you can open, I'll pay you out of my pocket. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go to Mexico. Like, maybe if it was like military, like a military show thing, like protection. But I just don't think it's the best time to do shows right now. But comedians, I get it. Like, if you're a comedian doing shows, you have to make money, you have to travel, you have to do this stuff. Like, that's part of the job. But I don't see the benefit right now going to Mexico. Like, the last thing I need is to be kidnapped by the cartel, and you're just like behind bars, like, give me the vaccine. But today's short-term goals, people. Short-term goals. I hope everyone has that in mind. Like, you gotta have your goals in mind, because these days go by fast. In fact, yesterday, this is like a true story. I don't care if I just added. This week, somebody reached out to me about a job on the agency side of the business, and I used to work in that side of the business, and I said no. Part of me is like, call my friend KT, and I was like, dude, what do you think? I said no, but he was like, dude, it's so funny, because he's like, you're always like complaining about stuff. Because I was like, I told him, I go, I go, man, this is not what it was supposed to be. And he goes, that's a great title for an HBO special. This is not what it was supposed to be. Hilarious. Because like when you're like 25, like you have really no problems, but like when you're older, you're just like, it starts to hit you a little bit harder. By the way, this is people wondering. I get coffee two ways. I go to a coffee shop at my house, one way, but it's very expensive. And then I got an espresso machine, which my mom got me over quarantine, and that's been a game changer. So now I make espresso and coffee, and I put this in here, and I use a straw so I don't stain my teeth, because I still try to work in Hollywood. Well, this has been an amazing live stream. I got to audition to be a doctor this week. Zoom Live, that was a pretty intense experience. I feel like I can play doctors in my sleep if I really have to, especially like on film and TV. And buddy called me up. He's an Indian guy. He was like, dude, he's like, you'd hate that, because he was like in a bunch of like TV shows and as a doctors, and he's like, you'd hate it, man. He's like, it's boring. But I was like, man, sometimes you got to just figure out your niche. You know, I do. And honestly, I really haven't worked that much in network TV, so I was like, I'll take it. I mean, I'm not gonna beg for it, but I think you gotta be open-minded, right? I think it'd make my mom happy if I was a doctor in any capacity. I feel like this is about me being a doctor. It's really not. But even if I was like a doctor on TV, then she could tell her friends, like, oh yeah, you know, he's Dr. Shetty now, even though it's not real at all. I'd probably wear like my lab coat like outside the set and just walk around and like heal people. I hope we all have an amazing weekend ahead. I'm gonna finish this coffee. Take care. See ya.